Today we're going to talk a little bit about learning. Well, hello brothers and sisters, good morning and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mission Zero. If this is your first time here, my name is Shawn and this is The Word with Friends, the show where we take a deep dive into language and communications in order to bring us all closer together. This week I was listening to a podcast from a guy that I greatly respect, and he was talking about kind of his problems with the church. And one of the things he said is that his biggest problem with the church is that it sells people things they don't need, right? Kind of these doctrinal points about the finer points of who is God and blah, blah, blah. And he feels like the church should really be focused on helping people with their finances and their marriages and their addictions, because those are the things that people really struggle with. And while I can agree that a lot of churches aren't sort of fulfilling their obligations, I think he's sort of whitewashing what it is the church exists for. And so I want to dive into that today by talking about the word disciple. The English word disciple is defined as a person who receives or passes on doctrine. Doctrine just being a thing that is taught, right? It's just sort of a piece of information. That's not really how we use it, and that's not how it got started. So I wanted to bring up sort of the history of the word by diving into the Hebrew equivalent of the word disciple. So the Hebrew word for disciple is the word lamud. And lamud is somebody who receives lamad. And lamad means to teach. This is what it's commonly, but what it really means is to goad. Now, goad is a word that has sort of fallen out of fashion in the English language unless you're a farmer, but it means to provoke or annoy, to poke somebody until they do or learn what you want them to do or learn. A really good illustration of this is when you want your kids to brush their teeth or clean up their toys. You don't care if they know why you want them to do that. You're not really interested in the teaching moment. You want them to comply because you know if they comply often enough, long enough, they will eventually understand that this is a thing that they need to do, and further down their life, it'll dawn on them why that was such an important lesson. But what it starts with, when your child becomes the disciple, is when you decide to start poking them about the thing. And this is a truth of the word disciple that is completely lost, I think, in our modern language to the detriment of the concept. And the reason that that's critically important for us to understand, the way that that ties back to this podcast I'm talking about. The church is comprised of two things, right? There is the church, the body, the ecclesia. And then there is the people that make up the church. The people that make up the church, they are responsible for helping you with things like your finances and keeping your marriage together, because those require a deeply personal connection. That's not discipleship, that is coaching, that's support, that's helping you through all of those kind of short game problems. The point of the church, the ecclesia, the combined body of all of those individuals, there is one job for that body. And it's the job that Christ gave when he said, go to the ends of the earth and make disciples. Jesus never once told somebody in detail what their sins were or how to fix their life. What he said to everybody, go your way and sin no more. The reason that those short game things didn't matter to him is because he understood if you get the long game items corrected, all the short game items really do work themselves out. If you're having a problem in your marriage, probably that's ultimately a problem of how you relate to other people. And if you can get that right, solves all of that. The thing that Jesus spent all of his time preaching and all of his time teaching was that there is no them, there is only us. That is the discipleship that we are supposed to have. There is no them, there is only us. If someone starts to believe that there is a them, or they begin to branch into a them, it is the church's responsibility to needle them back into it, to annoy, to poke them until they get back with the program and get back with the us. That's the purpose of the ecclesia. The ecclesia has nothing at all to do with those short game, individual, societal problems or what's going on in your marriage. No, none of that. It's get this calibration right. Understand who you are, who God is, and how you relate to Him and how you relate to other people. That's it. But that lesson, if you can really understand it, if you can become that disciple, if you can receive that needling and learn that lesson and just comply, there is no them, there is only us. There is no them, there is only us. If you can get there, you can really understand it. Every short game problem in life becomes that much easier to handle. And that's my exhortation for us for the remainder of this week. Be disciples of that message of Jesus. There is no them, there is only us. There is no them, there is only us. And as often as you need to, poke, annoy, needle your brothers and sisters who start to slide outside of that, who start to see things as another way, and be open to those pokings and proddings back at you. That somebody says, hey, you're starting to let us become a them. You're starting to separate, you're starting to divide. Because that, as I always say, as I spend every episode talking about, is the purpose of life, is to make us and to make us grow together corporately and individually. And so I hope that has meaning for you, that challenges you and pushes you to become even youier than you were before, and to annoy and needle people, and to become even them-ier than they were before. And may God pour out the blessings of those calibrations between and through and among us, that we can keep each other always chanting the same message. There is no them, there's only us. I love you so much, so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on Friday.